As a law firm, we are focused on two things: impacting the administration of justice to make a difference, and providing quality service to our clients that they are accustomed to receiving all over the world. It is perhaps stating the obvious. Provision of law is a global service, and therefore a firm like ours, we have clients scattered all over the world. What we'd like is that the service they receive in Europe, Asia, or in America, we are in a position to provide that service. So we will not make excuses that we're in a third world country. Instead, we strive to make changes to provide quality service. That's really what we're about: meeting international standards and doing so with a certain level of integrity. I think what we realized, the founding partners, the two of us, myself and Remy Okunola, we were working in other law firms, and we found that the partners in these firms were extremely intelligent, but law was not provided within the framework of a business, which it is. Once you've gotten a number of people together to provide any service, even though a regulated service like law, you must appreciate that there are other things that make it work. So I noticed that in my former firm, yes, we would normally communicate with the client, but we had no specific time that was applicable across board. Whereas in a place like Perchstone and Graeys, we'll communicate to the client and we set very tight limits. Within 24 hours, we must communicate. Somebody will pay the price if you did. So providing services for the client became paramount, and doing so efficiently, not just simply providing resolutions to law. In other words, digging deep into the law. That's important, but I think ultimately the client is also just as important. So we combine both. What we realized before now with the other generation was that they were interested in developing the law, and I think that is good, but you must do it so as to achieve a certain level of efficiency with the clients. So whereas in the past you could spend years and years in courts, and in the course of doing that you develop the law, there are small points that are developed, you set precedents, that's good. But we said, in addition to that, somebody is instructing you, somebody is benefiting from this, or should be benefiting from developing the law. So we combine both, and I think that is what drove us in Perchstone and Graeys. I think it's a combination of two things. I think providing services with a certain level of integrity, notwithstanding the rating of the country, is something that clients find very refreshing. In the past, we perhaps suffered a bit because we were discerning on the kind of work we did. Many of the law firms and many of those who provide legal services may accept just any brief. But here, we are continuously exercising a discretion as to the type of work we do, not breaching the carte blanche rule which says that you're there to provide services for any client who walks into your door. But at the same time, if the client begins to insist, and that happens a lot within this jurisdiction, on how we're supposed to provide that service, and if we believe that that undermines the tenets of our profession and the code of conduct, we will quickly tell the client where to go. So I think the one defining points for Perchstone and Graeys is integrity. The other is that we're constantly desperate to ensure that we improve the justice delivery system. I think everyone who comes in contact with Perchstone and Graeys will realize that we do something over and beyond just providing a service to say, how do we improve the framework within which we work. I think those are the two defining hallmarks for Perchstone and Graeys. We collaborate with a number of top-level firms to provide services for our clients around the world. So, and we collaborate in different subject areas. For example, if it comes to banking and finance, we collaborate with Sidley Austin. If it comes to oil and gas, we collaborate with some other law firm. Employment, we collaborate with other law firms. So, through collaboration, even within Nigeria, because the level of the level of service we provide sometimes can be quite complex and intricate. So we do need collaborations within and outside Nigeria. Our international presence is such that we can't overspread ourselves, and going into the future is a combination of loose partnerships and collaboration. I see Perchstone and Graeys being run as an institution. Today it's still very complicated to run institutions in Nigeria. By that I mean we haven't got to the point where one generation has succeeded in transferring the practice from one level to another. What we have is still a personalized practice where when people pass on, the practice just dies. The modern commercial law firms in Lagos, a few of them are beginning to make some strides to ensure that they institutionalize the practice so that the next generation steps into their shoes and continues with that practice. So I see Perchstone and Graeys as an institution providing legal services in many different areas with quite a number of lawyers working with a certain level of integrity. And so we'll be known for our speciality in different areas. But I also, most importantly, see technology playing a huge role. So not only do we have technological department providing technology as a service on its own, but in every area that we work, it will be driven by technology. That's what I see, because into the future you're going to find general practice will be less and less of an attractive area because quite a number of people will be providing these services themselves. But I think it would be difficult and perhaps unimaginable to find the ordinary man in the street providing specialized service in oil and gas, in securitization or finance. So we will continue to deepen our knowledge in those specialized areas. I think for me, the award, and you will see that there's a plaque here. I mean, the firm has won a number of awards, but this one means a lot to us, and we won this last year. It's an award given by Legal Era. Legal Era is an institution in India, and it was given in South Africa in recognition of legal finesse, innovation, and accomplishments. Those two verbs or adjectives, innovation and accomplishment, means a lot to us because we work hard to be, we work assiduously to be innovative in everything we do. But then that somebody recognizes from a distance is something that we really, really cherish. And I think for us, of all the awards we won, this means a lot. And they said things like us collaborating with Indian institutions to hold the first seminar in India as an African law firm, bringing lawyers, policymakers, and government officials in one room, interfacing with the different subject areas, recognizing gaps. And then for us, not only do we deal with that, we actually go one step further to see how we can close those regulatory gaps that we recognize. It was as a result of one of those seminars that we actually assisted government in setting up what is now known as the collateral registry. The law also backing that is the Secured Transactions on Movable Assets law. The interesting thing about that singular act is what led Nigeria, many of the points that was allocated for that innovation is what led Nigeria to move upwards in the ease of doing business ranking from 169 to 146. For us, that was another very interesting and perhaps the most rewarding and all the work we've done in terms of regulatory framework. The Vice President and the Speaker of the House of Representatives at that time both gave us an award for that innovation. So, this particular award, which simply says for your innovation and accomplishment without specifying it, is extremely gratifying. The question, what do I expect of my colleagues? I would analyze it in this way. On the 31st of December, every year, everyone is excited, wishing each other that message. Thank God we made it. Thank God we crossed over. That's on the second day. So people are excited, and that's a good thing. And people will say this will be a much better year. But the truth of the matter is that if you don't do anything, it's going to be exactly the same way like what happened every day the year before. So there must be something you're doing that is different. Opportunities do not come knocking. We'll have to rise up and grab those opportunities for those who want them. That means that you must have set yourself a particular target, and that target must be within the framework of Perchstone and Graeys so as to provide that service. So I'm just going to say work hard, but work hard is so general. You have to be working smart, and you have to be strategic about it, key into the strategy of the firm. We have competencies that will enable us be as good as any firm in the world. But those competencies will remain innate and will remain fallow unless we go out of our ways to exhibit them. And that requires us digging deep and coming up with things that our colleagues are not perhaps doing in other law firms. I think the way to finalize on this point is that if anyone is doing better than you, either comparing individuals or comparing us to other firms, it means they are doing something that we are not doing. And it is easy to simply give a lazy remark that they may be doing something which is untoward. The truth of the matter is that you would always have a first and you would always have a last. You can be the first provided you're going to do what it takes to rise over and above what others are doing. So I wish all my colleagues the best of 2020, and I say to you, that innate quality that you have in you, work hard to bring it out.